Okay, let's look at the homework 4.7, number 6. All right, so we want to find the equation of the line through the point 3, 5 that cuts off the least area from the first quadrant. Right, so that's an interesting question. So the picture would look kind of like this. All right, so here's y-axis and here's the x-axis. That's the origin. All right, so 3, 5. So let's say, so that's say 3 here, and a 5 is probably up here. So 5. All right, so this is the point that you need to go through. Right? So it's just a line going through that point like that. Right? All right, then you can see that, let's see, I'm going to have to name something. So I'm going to use B for the y-intercept, pretty standard notation. All right, then instead of, having a notation for this, I'm trying to find the x-coordinate here, x-intercept, I should say, there. All right, so first I have to come up with an equation. All right, so we already have a notation for y-intercept. The y-intercept, the x value is 0, and the y value is, we decided to call it b. And this point is 3, 5. All right, so we can easily find a slope. Slope m is going to be, all right, so so this is like, maybe I'll name it. So here's x1 and y1 here, and here's x2 and y2. All right, so we have 5 minus 0 over 3. Oh, okay, sorry, 5 minus b. All right, and x2 is 3 minus 0. All right, so you just get 5 minus b over 3. All right, so the equation of the line is pretty simple because we already know that the y-intercept is b, so we can just say y is equal to 5 minus b over 3 x plus b. All right, so that's the equation. So we can find the x-intercept, which is right here in the picture, by setting y equals 0. So let's set that equal to 0. And I'm going to go down here. All right, so you can put, let's see, b on the other side. So you have 5 minus b over 3x is equal to negative b, right? Then we can multiply both sides by 3 over 5 minus b to get x value. Right? Maybe I'll do that. So I subtracted b. Right? Then here we multiply by 3 over 5 minus b. Right? So x is going to be equal to, all right, so it's going to be negative 3b over, all right, 5 minus b, right? Then I don't like to have a negative sign. I'm going to multiply top and bottom by negative 1. We get 3b over b minus 5. All right. So that's the x-intercept. So this is going to be, so 3b over b minus 5, 0. All right. Then we want to find the area of this triangular region right here. All right. So let's express that in terms of b. So area of that triangle with respect to, in terms of b would be, right? So 1/2 base times height. So 1/2, right? Base is going to be the same as the X Intercept right here. So it's going to be 3b over b minus 5. Then multiplied by height is the same as the y-intercept, so we put b. All right, then clean it up, but we're gonna get, let's see, 3/2 is just a constant, so I'll put it in front. So 3/2, all right. Then you have a b times b, so you have b squared on top, b squared on top. And on the bottom, you have b minus 5. So you have b minus 5. All right, so we have that. All right, so let's try to find the critical number. Actually, let's find where we want b. All right, so b value, we can see that if b is less than 5, then you won't actually be able to get a triangular region. So b has to be greater than 5. So let's say we're going to try to minimize this function on interval starting from 5, not including 5, because if it's 5, otherwise it's going to be a horizontal line. So plus infinity, positive infinity. All right, so look for the critical number. So we take the derivative. So a prime of b is going to be equal to, all right, 3/2 is just a constant multiple, so just put it outside. Then by quotient rule, we can take the derivative. Quantity b minus 5 squared. Right, then derivative of that top would be 2b, right, times the bottom, which is b minus 5, right, minus top, which is b squared, times the derivative of the bottom, which is going to be just 1, right? So this is going to be, right, 3/2 is just a constant in front, and the denominator is pretty simple. So b minus 5 quantity squared, right? Here we get, let's see, you have 2b squared, so maybe I should write that, 2b squared, right? And 2b times negative 5 is negative 10b. Then you have minus b squared. All right, so this is going to be equal to 3, right? So this is going to be 2b and minus b squared, so 1b squared. And there's negative 10b, so I'm going to actually factor out b, right? Then you have a b from b squared and a negative 10 from negative 10b. And over, you have 2, then b minus 5 squared. All right. So that's the derivative, and set that equal to 0 to find the critical number. And you can see that b is equal to 0. And from here, right, and b equals 10, all right. Also, let's see, b equals 5 makes the denominator equal to 0, but the original function is not even defined, so we're not going to consider that as a critical number. So we have those two critical numbers, right? But as we said before, 0, we're not going to consider 0 because, you know, b has to be bigger than 5, so we're not going to consider that. So 10 is only candidate for now. All right, so let's make sure that that's going to give us the minimum value. All right, so let's do a number line. So starting from 5 and keep going. All right, then here's 10. All right, so that's the b value, and starting from 5, right? So we can try any number we want between 5 and 10. So I'll try like 6 or something like that. right? So if you look at the a prime of 6, we just want the sign, right? That's positive. 6 minus 10 is negative. And the bottom is actually always positive because of the square. So it's actually negative. All right, so a prime on this interval is actually negative. Right? Then you look at the a prime and plug in something like 11 or something like that. Then you see that the 11 is positive. 11 minus 10 is positive. So everyone's positive. Right? So positive here. Right? So we know that the original function is decreasing after 10 is decreasing. So we know that this is going to give us the minimum that we're looking for. All right? So b equals 10. So the equation we're looking for is here. So we just have to, so here's the equation. So we just have to plug in b equals 10. So y is equal to, right, 5 minus 10 is negative 5 over 3x. And the y-intercept is 10. So it's plus 10. Right? That's it. I hope that this was clear.